Well, of course, you're talking about a really important phenomenon. The rise of Asia is an awesome force, and it's a tidal force. And if you're going to have free trade, which I think we have to have with a fellow nuclear power on the complex world we live in, you're talking about something that is very hard on a manufacturing place like Michigan. If you think about what happened to Michigan, think about the automobile business of Hyundai when they created it in Korea. For the first many years of Hyundai's manufacturing in competition with Michigan, the workers who were all Korean, and for some weird reason were better on average than American workers, whether it's the Confucian ethos or their poverty or whatever it was, these were very reliable workers. And the terms of their engagement was as follows. You come into our factory, you work 84 hours a week. There is no overtime. You just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Well, of course that's going to be hard on a guy that's manufacturing a competitive product. And just when the Koreans started to get rich, 1,300,000,000 Chinese, and I don't know how many there are in Vietnam, tens of millions. Oh, and they're all doing it. This is a tidal force. It's seriously disruptive. I don't see what we do about it. In terms of changing the educational system, I live in California. In objective standards, it's better than ever. But the faces are way more Asian in percentage than I see here. The Berkeley Engineering School, I think, is more than 75% Asian. I mean, it is just amazing how California is rising on the backs of these talented Asians. I am chairman of a big hospital in a bad location. It's a losing hand. I play the hand on purpose because I played so many winning hands. I thought I owed it to I owed it to civilization to carry one hair shirt and keep it on, no matter how much it hurt. And I must say it's worked perfectly. But Good Samaritan Hospital is still standing and still reputable, and there's much that's good at it. But I look down the faces that are doing it, and the guy who's doing all the programming of the gamma knife, which is very complicated physics, he's a PhD in physics from China. And there's Dr. Ho from Harvard and Dr. Chung. It's just boomity, 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 boom. And I've got a sea of Asian faces. So California is not going down. These Asian faces are going to help us stem the tide, in other words. So, and I see a lot of Asian faces in this room. And so, don't you have Toyota here in Michigan? And you're getting some of it too, but not like California. But I just think you're in for a rapid change of the world where the Asians get way more important and we become less important. And somebody says to me, don't you worry about the competition for the Mungers? And I said, no. If the Mungers can't handle the Asian competition, let them lose. I don't feel I'm here in life to guarantee the Mungers win against the Asians. I like the meritocracy. It's particularly when there's so much achievement. You know, when I was young, everybody that shoved a camera in my face, it was German. Well, this morning they were shoving cameras in my face. They're all Japanese. They earned the right to shove those cameras in my face. It wasn't easy to displace those Germans. It wasn't like the Germans weren't good at it. So I welcome all this stuff. But I do think you're going to have to adjust to a world where this tidal force in manufacturing, with this cheap labor and this vast, easy adaptability to modern capitalism that exists in Asia, just keeps rising as a tidal force. And I think you have to get used to it. And wherever you turn around, you're going to find it looks more like the Good Samaritan Hospital, where more of the faces that are rising are Asians. I welcome it. I know how much better my hospital works with all these Asian faces. And what the hell do I care if the guy's name is Wilson or Chung? You know, I like all these Asians. And when I go down to that hospital, 8:30, I'll sometimes go down to the guy who's programming the gamma knife for the next day, my Chinese physicist. There he is, 8:30 in the evening. He comes in early in the morning. And a gamma knife is a very hard thing to correctly program. So I'm all for this change, but I do think all of us face it, and we just better get used to it. And I think part of enjoying life is to just see it like it is and face it like it is and adapt to the reality as it is, whether you like it or not. And the reality as it is that Michigan is not going to dominate the world in autos the way it once did. The baton has been passed. Athens is never again going to be the leader of all civilization. Nor is Rome. Nor is London. The baton passes. The iron rule of life in an historical sense is that if you're lucky enough to be in a leadership position, eventually you have to pass the baton. That's the rule of human systems. Biologically, we all have to die, and as successful systems, we eventually have to pass the baton. Those are the rules. And if you don't like them, you're on the wrong earth.